Broadcasting live from RISKWORLD 2022 at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, it's time for Workplace MVP, brought to you by R3 Continuum, a global leader in helping workplaces thrive during disruptive times. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. Your host, Jamie Gassmann, here with Workplace MVP, and I am coming to you from the RISKWORLD 2022 Expo Hall in R3 Continuum's booth. And joining me is Lindsey Durosko and Chris von Eljaszewicz from Imperium Consulting Group. Welcome to the show, you two.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much. Excited to be here.
And did I pronounce both your names accurately? I know I was practicing before we got on audio. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your company and a little bit about you and, why you're here at the RIMS show.
Yeah, I'll start. So claims consulting is really what we do. So we do builder's risk claims, contract dispute claims, anything where there's been a loss or where there was a loss, maybe a fire, a flood, we come in and help to mitigate that loss, recover any monies to the policyholder, the insured, and help them recover to where they were pre-loss.
And now I know, Chris, you're the director. So Talk to me a little bit about kind of your background and what you do for the organization.
Right. So my background is in finance and management. So I've been calculating economic damages for a long time now. And with Imperium, it's basically the same thing. We calculate the loss, see what happened, and try to get as much value back to the policyholders as possible.
Yeah, and so you guys are an exhibitor here at the conference.
Yes. We are.
So, I know it's kind of the first day, and it's only about like halfway through like the first, few hours of the show. So how has it been so far for you in terms of traffic and the conversations that you've been having?
Yeah, we've gotten quite a bit of traffic, which has been nice at our booth. We're booth 410, to get that out there. Who's been coming to our booth, Chris? A lot of people who are risk mitigation and restoration companies. But we've been having great conversations just about how we can help mitigate losses. And everybody kind of has that same mindset here, too. Like, what can we do to make sure we put the risk everywhere else? And that's what.
Yeah, and offset it. So in terms of like a customer coming to you and you talk about the mitigation of those losses, that's from a physical perspective, right? Property loss, maybe some of the liability around that. Talk to me a little bit about what does that customer experience look like? So if I'm a policyholder with you and I'm coming to you because something has happened, kind of walk me through the scenario of like, what does your services look like? And how do you dive into evaluating, that risk that I might have?
So they would call us up, and we would kind of guide them through the process. Like you would probably set up a couple of different account numbers just to pool in the costs with everything that's related to the claim. So it's easier to separate that from your daily business that you do. And then they would just start sending us, for instance, if there is a loss, they would start sending us like invoices and things like that, and we would start to categorize those and review the policy to see how those fit in, and just kind of put together a claim for them. Right? And I had a conversation earlier with a gentleman. He didn't know that was even existed, but actually in the policy there is a clause, a section there for claim preparation, and it's covered. It's covered by the policy, so our costs are covered.
Helps them kind of organize it so they're kind of maybe seeing everything collectively.
Right. And I think sometimes it's hard for the policyholder to translate their issues to the carrier. So we kind of are the middleman to help them put together all of their costs, put together that claim in a way that makes sense to the carrier to get as much money as we can from the carrier to the insured. So we're basically like an advocate on behalf of the client, working for them to make sure, we can put everything together that's possible. Like Chris said, putting together invoices, putting together all that backup documentation that the policyholders just don't have the resources to do, on a daily basis. And they become quite cumbersome, these RFIs that we get back from the carrier. So it's good to have somebody else, an expert, come in and be able to evaluate and put together a strategy in, recovering that claim and bringing you to the pre-loss, Yeah.
And imagining if somebody's going through, like, let's say a fire on in their facility, I mean, it's overwhelming in and of itself. They've got their people they've got to take care of. So having someone like you to be able to help them with
We'll
some
take
of
that
that
off our hands,
management
yeah.
of it. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of peace of mind,
Yeah.
too, for the insured. Somebody who's gone through before and knows what they're doing, especially if they've never had a claim or had that experience before.
Right.
It's because it's scary,
And we take that off a lot so they can worry about getting their business back together again, and we handle all the back stuff so we can put the claim together and else. And we also do BI values, business interruption values. Like, okay, if you're in the renewal process or you're trying to get insurance, like, okay, how much insurance should I buy for my business? And we also evaluate, okay, where are your exposures and things like that, and we look at that as too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Because, I got to imagine as a business owner, that's really hard to calculate, right?
Yeah.
How much should I be purchasing to cover all of my assets and making sure that if something were to happen, I can,
Right.
Because obviously some of those situations, they're not planned. They're,
Exactly.
you have no
Right.
idea, and you've got now an interruption, and how do you get yourself back on track faster?
Exactly.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and you can imagine with COVID, all of these business have been interrupted. The world was interrupted. So that's been a huge, setback for so many different companies. And we've come in and help a lot of policyholders in that area.
I navigate through
With
all
COVID.
that stuff.
Yeah.
It's very challenging times.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's been awesome chatting with both of you. If
Thank you.
somebody wanted to get a hold of you that might be listening in, how can they get a hold of you, or where would you want to direct them to get more information?
They should visit us on our website. So www.imperiumcg.com. And I'm Lindsey Durosko. Yeah, Chris.
Come by booth.
Contact us straight from the website. Come by our booth 410 again.
Wonderful. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you both on the show. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Having so much fun here at RISKWORLD.
Yeah. Blast.
Thank you for joining us on Workplace MVP. R3 Continuum is a proud sponsor of this show and is delighted to celebrate most valuable professionals who work diligently to secure safe workplaces where employees can thrive.